Hello. You find me looking to reinstall the airbox, but this motorcycle is old and the rubbers that go between the airbox and the carb are about as rock hard as a stick of rock. So what I'm doing is I'm using a heat gun, and rather than going around the outside of the rubbers, I'm just pointing it right down the centre, and that just warms it from the inside. I'm doing it one at a time. It's impossible to do all four. And softening the rubbers so I can push them inside the airbox, which will aid fitting the carbs. Because with these rubbers sticking out, the carbs are not going on the Zephyr. So excuse the noise, I'll just warm these up and give them a little push. Careful with the end of that, it's going to be hot. So the example is nice and squishy and rock solid. I'm squeezing it, but nice and squishy. So yeah, it's just an old trick. I don't know if it's a trick or whether it's just common sense. Are you squishy enough to be pushed in? Nearly. And it really doesn't take long, like, 20 seconds. Start a fire. Oh yeah, pliable. It feels like marshmallow. There you go, that's so easy, oh my god. Of heavy breathing, it's because it's carbs off. If of heavy breathing, it's because I'm having a reaction to something, and it's not petrol. So yeah. Okay, carbs off. I'm going to need 2 hands for this one. Pop them off, get the airbox installed, put the carbs back on, and then I can faff around with the rubbers and curse and swear a bit. Houston, we have a problem. So even though the carbs are installed, I had no end of trouble trying to get the airbox installed, or actually the airbox to carb rubbers. And there's a reason. They're very, very old. And because they're old, they, like any of us, they have become unrubbery. So this isn't very rubbery at all. I'm trying to crush it right now. And it's just through use that it's become hardened. The dog is getting his coffee. He likes it, what can I say? He's had tea and coffee every day for his entire life. And he's about to hit 14, and he's as strong as an ox can be that's the size of a chihuahua. A new set is over £100, so between 100 and 140 pounds. I haven't actually found a set for 100 quid. They're mostly a lot more. So in the meantime, I've capped off the carbs just so nothing gets in there. And yeah, now I need to find some rubbers. There are lots of parts that look the same, but the dimensions, the wideness, they're 55mm. So does anyone out there know a person that can take these and re-plasticize them? Which is a process where the component that goes, whatever's gone, goes back into them and makes them flexible again. Yeah, that would be useful. If not, I shall have to wait until I can find a set, and I just don't want to be spending. At the moment I found a second-hand set for 60, 75 quid, and it's like, ugh, or £50 for some kind of copy ones, but they don't look brilliant. What a mess. But this isn't the greatest idea for the carbs. I couldn't help it, I had to do it. Yes, it's a rocker. Well, I've done one coil pack, so it just makes sense to do the other. Here's something for you. What do you listen to in your workshops when you're working? I'll let you listen to what I'm listening to. Okay, Google, resume. Missy Elliott. Hey Google, pause. I'll only get done for copyright. Hey Google, what's the name of this song?
This is Get Your Freak On by Missy Elliott.
Get Your Freak On by Missy Elliott. So I'm removing the left-hand coil pack, yeah? I mean, they're falling apart. We knew this anyway. Look, there's the HT cap. Got itself trapped and then just went, nah, I'm leaving this. I'm leaving the world behind. So, you. Oh God, so much corrosion. And this terminal fell off just by touching it, so that's good. I'm glad I took this bike to Surrey and rode it around. And it gets better. I've dropped a nut, the nut, somewhere. So I have a little magnetron and I'm just probing. Come back to me, my sweet nut. Yeah. I will find it. If not, it will become a permanent part of this motorcycle. Yeah, so I couldn't find it. So yeah, let's refer to the drawer of pieces. Somewhere in here, there's a nut waiting to join the Zephyr. Rooting around in other drawers now. Oh, hello. Would you like to come and join a Kawasaki Zephyr? You would. Welcome to the bike. What a pleasure. Right. New nut joins the motorbike. Old coil pack. New replica coil pack. There wasn't actually a problem with this coil pack. None. Apart from bits that fell off of it. It's the age of the motorcycle, and we all know from the beginning when I first ever showed you the bike that it had poor maintenance throughout its life. So everything that I'm doing in these videos isn't workshop correct. All I'm doing is messing around because I am helping with my state of mind, with the sort of pressures that I'm under with work. The procedures that I show on this motorcycle are not what you would use in a workshop, and the reason for that is I would have done this in a video and a half. I'm just messing around and figuring things out, and you can see every time I touch something I find another problem. I've seen a restoration video on YouTube that had the bike done in like, I think it was like 35 minutes from stripping it down to putting it back together again, and that wasn't much fun. So yeah, well, there's a wiggler. How are you going to get a decent negative? Yeah, that's not good. That must have been just jiggling around doing its own thing, whereas that one's okay. Well, anyway, with the power of not magic, there's no magic here. With the power of TV, I'm going to put all the new parts, all the old crappy parts on. Let me just redo that one. Here's something for you. See all that greenery there? Because the amount of corrosion, it wasn't able to earth itself properly, and there was arcing. And its lack of maintenance goes to this little boot being glued on. Great. So I am cleaning the fixings up because I'm gonna do the Zephyr right. So clean these up. Look at that. Not bad. Just gonna clean these up and get them fitted in. All right, not bad. From crusty rusty to looking much better. Right, I'll get these fitted up. I really don't do myself any favours sometimes. What I've accidentally gone and done is snap the key off in the lock. And this is one of multiple locks for main doors, but and obviously I've seen videos where these get done over. So I'll get my angle grinder out in a minute, but if I can just prise that through, I'll see if I can get somebody to bring the emergency key in. Shoot, I haven't done myself any favours. Oh, so I use this pick to kind of pick the blade out as best I could. I don't want to push it back in, obviously. Man. Oh. Come on, you. Oh, lucky. Now I just need the emergency key. And then talk about being lucky. I won a Yale lock in a competition with Asgard Security. So that was pretty blooming cool. And it's been sat here waiting for a job to do. So yeah, can't wait. I've asked a key holder to come along and use their key. Fantastic. And now the new Yale one will go in, and I promise not to break the key in the lock. I'll be very careful. Welcome to your new home. So, out with the broken old, and in with the new. Oh. And yeah, these things are just meant to slow me down, I'm sure of it. So I was just about to put these connectors on the coil pack and they just felt really, really loose. And I'm not sure if you can see inside of there, but these little connectors that go on the spades can be adjusted, unlike modern connectors. So I'm just going to use some needle nose pliers and crush them in. I'm not going to close them up, I'm just going to pinch them a little. And then hopefully they fit on the spades a little bit better. So we're having a problem starting. Turn ignition on, hit the starter. We have a new problem, so let's investigate. So this is the starter solenoid and this is the trigger. So if 12 volts hits this, not a lot of amps, 12 volts hit this, it creates a circuit. So it's literally a switch, but the bike's not starting. So I'm going to pull this connector off. I'm going to put a couple of probes into it. There we go. So I've got my probes in, and then the multimeter should show some kind of voltage. So I'm going to turn the ignition on. I'm then going to push the starter button and hold it in, and on the multimeter it should be showing some kind of voltage. And as you can see there, it's showing not enough. I'm up to 20 volts and it's showing point nothing. This is the starter solenoid. I don't believe it has the problem. I think the problem's further up the chain where the trigger goes. Just to show you, there is 12 volts here. There we go, at the starter solenoid. So if I put a screwdriver or something like that across these two, the motorcycle will crank. So my problem is getting a signal down through this trigger, and then the issue's going to be further up that way.